Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And this one I have for you straight out of Washington, the state of Washington. And before I get started, I would like to say to you that there has been a high cadence of kids that are killing their parents. There has been a very high cadence of mental illness that has been untreated and undiagnosed. And this story encapsulates all of this. As we know, for those who are following the news, the Menendez brothers have been in jail for over 30 years for allegedly killing their parents, and they may actually get released. One thing we have to look at in this story is, as a parent, if you end up having a child that wants to kill you and his or her mother, we have somehow failed as parents. Let's get that straight right off the bat. A relationship between a mother and a father and the children should be a loving dynamic. But to have a scenario where it is filled with stress, anxiety, hatred, to the point of a child wanting to kill their parents, let alone their other siblings inside the house, there is something that has failed miserably in that house. There's tons of chaos and disruption that's taking place throughout our cities, but we're also seeing a lot of chaos within the four walls of many homes. And evidently, this story is very sad, and there must have been a lot of chaos and disruption taking place, because what this alleged male teen did to his own family, killing his parents and 3 of his siblings, is just very sad. So here we go. Teen in custody after 5 killed in shooting at Washington State home. What we know so far. More than 24 hours after 5 people were found shot dead in a Washington State home, including 3 school-aged children, the public awaits more details from authorities about what occurred and why. Reports of gunfire at a home southeast of Seattle came in early on a Monday, prompting deputies with the King County Sheriff's Office to respond to the scene and take a 15-year-old boy into custody. Details about the suspect's relationship to the victims was unclear at that time. However, we have found out that he is the son and the brother of these 5 people that were killed. And so this young man, 15 years old, allegedly killed both his parents and 3 of his siblings. In the hours since, investigators began the process of combing the home and the surrounding area for evidence to help them piece together what happened. Mike Millis, a spokesman for the King County Sheriff's Office, told reporters at the scene. Here's what we know about the shooting, the victims, and a teenage suspect suspected of perpetrating the crime. Where and when did the shooting take place? Deputies with the King County Sheriff's Office were dispatched just before 5 a.m. on a Monday to a home in Falls City located about 10 miles east of Seattle. Authorities who were dispatched to the home discovered 5 people dead. The Sheriff's Department said it was still working to determine the motive for the carnage, which it described as a possible domestic violence situation. So remember, what are some of the pearls in this story? Mental illness, domestic violence, and it's not always perpetrated by 2 adults, man and woman. It could be domestic violence on a child committing on a parent. Also, domestic violence comes in many shades and hues. Authorities initially received a report of a possible suicide, but the investigation has changed into a homicide probe, Sheriff's Office spokesperson Brandon Hull told USA Today. And the reason they thought it was a possible suicide is because when this teenage boy committed this crime, he actually called the police. Heavy breathing, panicked, and he said that his 11-year-old brother had actually killed the family members and then killed himself. So he tried to put it on his 11-year-old brother, which he allegedly killed. A neighbor with some medical training managed to get to the house and administer aid before emergency responders arrived. Deputies who responded determined the suspected shooter acted alone and no continued threats were to the public existed. So who is the suspect in the Falls City shooting? The boy, 15, was taken into custody without incident, Merlis told reporters. The teenager was booked in the King County Juvenile Detention Facility and is expected to make his first appearance on a Tuesday afternoon in a juvenile court. So what will happen at the suspect's court hearing? When the teen appears in court, a judge will determine if probable cause exists for the arrest and will also hear arguments for prosecutors and defense attorneys before making a decision on whether the teen will remain in custody and or be charged as an adult. Prosecutors can decide on charges once the sheriff's office refers the case to the office, which typically happens after a first appearance, according to the prosecutor's office. It's unclear whether authorities will seek to charge the teen as an adult. And who are the victims? 2 of those killed were adults, they were the parents, and the other 3 were described by Millis as young teenagers. Those were his siblings. The agency has not released names nor ages of the victims. However, I found out that some of the ages of them, 11-year-old, 13-year-old. A teenage girl who lived in the house was also injured and was taken to the hospital after receiving first aid from a neighbor. So this is what happened. He allegedly shot and killed his parents, 3 of his siblings, but there was a 6th sibling, this teenage girl, who got shot in the hand and the neck and played dead as he went on to finish the carnage on the rest of his family. She subsequently broke a window, got out, and went to a neighbor's house, and that's how the police got called. So there was one surviving victim. And remember, as I said earlier, he called the alleged killer, called the police in a panic and said that his 11-year-old brother actually committed the crime and then committed suicide, which, as the evidence came about, was not true. And it was actually the teenager, the 15-year-old boy who called the police, who actually did the crime. So there is some conscious effort. He consciously decided to kill his parents and his siblings. And then secondly, he made a conscious effort to make a 911 call and to lie to the dispatcher and say that his brother committed the crime. So there is corroborating evidence that he was fully aware and fully conscious of multiple things that he did in this crime. Truly heinous, truly a heinous crime. While a neighbor told King TV that a couple and their 5 children lived in a home, the sheriff's office declined to provide further detail when reached on that Tuesday morning by USA Today. Said it appears they were all members of the same family, but the specific relationship is still part of the investigation until now, where they found out that it was actually his siblings and his parents. And the one young lady got shot in the hand and neck and played dead and then escaped from the scene. This is a terrible scenario, and I'm seeing way too many videos of children that are deciding to kill their parents. We need to take a deeper look inside and find out what in the world is going on with many of our homes here in America. The level of stress and anxiety, conflict resolution, conflict mediation, untreated mental illness. I think that Some of this is coming from poor parenting. Now these devices have replaced us as parents. We don't have that old school value of sitting at the dinner table all together and talking about the day, talking about issues that are going on in each other's lives. We have become so self-indulged in just what we're doing, whether we're parents, paying the bills, our job, the stresses of raising children, and not redirecting that attention towards the needs of the children. I don't know exactly what was going on, but evidently there was something going on. And many times when you look in the mirror, it's looking right back at you. And the things that you're not, the boxes that you're not checking off, are to making sure that you're living a healthy and sustainable, positive lifestyle. Um, there was something going on wrong in a negative way in this particular scenario. For a 15-year-old kid to make an adult decision to take out his entire family, there is a crisis at hand. And I've done several videos where we are seeing where sons are killing their mothers, uh, all throughout this country. What is going on? Mental illness has to be at the top of our forefront for getting the attention and the treatment that's needed for people that are walking around here with mental illness that's being undiagnosed and untreated. We need to extend an olive branch and a helping hand and check on our family members, our kids, our neighbors. We need to be more communal in this support and this effort. This is a clear example of a family that is screaming out loud that something was not right. And as you're listening to this, and it's a sad story, you need to check on your kids, your family members. We know that there's tons of chaos and disruption all out in our cities and our states, but there could be a volcanic eruption happening right inside your own home. We need to wake up, open our eyes, utilize the five senses that God has given us, and quit walking around here unconscious and with our head in the sand. This is a very sad case. I want all of you all to listen to it. It can happen to your next door neighbor. It could even happen inside your own home. Many of these kids that are suffering today through all this and it's not only suffering, but with all this confusion, with all this external stimuli that's being sent to them through social media, through these telephones, through computers, through bullying, through harassment, they are lashing out. And what are the two ways that they're doing it? They're either doing it through school violence, school shootings, and now you're seeing a ton of it where they are doing it within their own homes. This is a sad case, and as I say all the time, what is unbelievable will become believable. What is unseen will become seen. We have to wake up. This is a very sad case, and now this 15-year-old probably will be charged as an adult, and he has decimated his family, and he has decimated his future and himself, both mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically. And this is a sad case for that city, 10 miles outside of Seattle. What a very unfortunate story. Tell me what you think about this. What a sad scenario. And this is happening way too much in our country. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.